I'd like to review what NAFA Indiana accomplished last year. We developed a program development committee. Actually, it started in 2019 as a collaboration between NAFA Indiana and the Society of Financial Service Professionals of Indiana. The two actually came together as a committee and developed 38 hours of CE for a member to have 38 hours available to them with the variety and diversity of topics, and some of it being presented by the society members, some of them by NAFA members, some of them together, bringing in outside speakers, I think provided a lot of variety to our members. The collaboration continues in 2021. They're currently developing the first quarter's schedule, and as soon as that is developed, we'll be notifying the members of it. The second area that I'm proud of in terms of an accomplishment from NAFA Indiana is what we did with technology this year. We were definitely ahead of the curve when the pandemic hit because other organizations or individuals had to start from ground zero at that point if they were going to be effective and be able to implement what they had planned. We had started doing it before. Granted, we were crawling in some cases and we made mistakes along the way, but we learned a lot and we're getting better every day, more proficient. But most importantly, it's given us the flexibility. The third item is that we formed a communications committee that has really taken off. And combining that with technology, it really gave us a format to stay connected to our members. I think from a member's perspective, we're a lot more transparent. We are communicating with our members on a monthly basis, varied topics. We've set up panel discussions to address, especially as we were going through the pandemic in the early stages, some of the issues, answering a lot of questions, guidelines from CDC, as well as being able to switch to a digital format for our 38 hours of CE. Again, there were some glitches along the way. You learn from those and you continue. So you just pick yourself back up and keep going. Communications Committee has developed NAFA Indiana this month as a digital magazine. And again, we're going to continue to do that in 2021 to stay connected to our members. And lastly, this year, our office actually moved. It moved about a month ago, very quickly. Our old landlord really was wanting to do something else with that space, and he let us know, and he gave us some attractive terms to be able to get out of our lease, and we took him up on it. And Sandy was able to find a nice location downtown Carmel, and with broader bandwidth, stronger digital technology to allow us to continue on a digital basis if we need to. In terms of 2021, several areas that we need to work on, I think. This was a deficit year for NAFA Indiana. We've been hovering between break even and deficit, but because of the pandemic, and quite frankly, some of the events that we had planned, which are profit centers for us, we were unable to do. They had to be canceled. Most organizations, successful organizations, associations, not-for-profits, generally are getting about half of their revenue through membership, and the other half are via events or other activities that they're doing, either for the industry or for membership. For NAFA Indiana, the three that have given us revenue outside of membership, well, one is membership, but the summit, we generally is profitable for us. We generally profit about $20,000 from sponsor fees that we charge. The other one is, and we haven't done it in a while, but we were planning to have a golf outing this year, which did not happen. And generally, we earn anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 of revenue from that. And we were counting on that, and that was built into our budget. We were projecting about a $25,000 deficit at that point. But we had hopes that some of the discussions we were having with other organizations were going to come through that would make us profitable this year, and it frankly didn't happen. The third area that we are active in is management of other organizations, taking on their books, basically being the backbone and behind the scenes organization to other not-for-profits in this industry. We started out the year basically being approached by 4 not-for-profit organizations. There are 2 big contracts. We walked away from one. We thought it would stress us out too much. We would have to hire folks to able to accommodate that contract. And plus, they only gave us a week to develop a proposal. But there was another one that, again, they approached us. Everything looked solid. That would have put us in a profitable position for the year. So we will continue that. We're going to end up in 2020 with 326 members, but we have seen membership go down, and it's primarily, from what I'm seeing, attrition through retirements. Folks that, the average age of our member is probably 60, maybe older, and quite frankly, they're moving on. They're to the next chapter in their life, and we're not getting enough new members to replace them. That really is the issue. On top of that, we also there's some billing situations, billing challenges that NAFA National has. When I was membership committee chair several years ago, that I noticed we were losing about 35% of our membership through lapses, and it was because the credit cards had ended. You get a new credit card every 3 or 4 years. They were using them to renew. We're having to call lapsed members to let them, ask them, have they gotten a new credit card, because their membership is lapsed. So, and generally in those situations, the members right away will renew. But unless you call them, sometimes a year or longer goes, and by then you may not get them back. So trying to manage that continues, unfortunately. The goal for 2021, and this is from NAFA National, is 335. Basically, they want the trend to stop, the downward trend, and then to start growth. We think that's a fairly modest goal. And what I've noticed in 2020, we were losing maybe 1 member a month, and it was through retirements. But that part has really slowed down. So I'm thinking we may have hit bottom, and now we're going to be showing growth. There's a difference in philosophy as to how to go about membership. NAFA National wants individual approaches or agency presentations, which I think is very laborious for a lot of effort for what you get back. I would like to see an email campaign put together by NAFA Indiana. One, it would change the membership committee from a laborious task of, basically mano a mano, trying to wrestle somebody to the ground to get them to join, which everybody hates, and it burns out everybody, and you get very little back in terms of numbers. To trying to do this, and then using the membership committee to basically to meet with them and close the deal. If they have questions, they want to talk to somebody, and I'm wanting the membership committee, to come from basically the old locals. So we have geographic coverage of Indiana. So if an agent expresses interest up in northern Indiana, there's somebody up there that in that area that may even know him, that can call him, answer whatever questions, guide him through getting signed up or getting him acclimated to NAFA Indiana. It would change what the membership committee would do, because it would free up a lot of time that they were spending in the trenches trying to recruit somebody, to having the marketing program, basically delivering interested parties, and they're just closing them. But also they could do some fun things because they now have time to do it. Set up Zoom meetings with the new members, give them an orientation of what NAFA is, or NAFA Indiana, NAFA National, answer any questions, maybe create a forum or create loyalty from them to where they could bring NAFA Indiana into their agencies, since they're already tied in, and they're a new exuberant member saying, yeah, I have 4 or 5 guys, maybe we ought to have a Zoom meeting with them and see if we can bring them in also. I would prefer to do that. I think it would give us, it'd be a better use of time and resources. Government Affairs Committee is restructuring to be more proactive. In the past, governance committee has primarily, or government affairs committee has primarily scanned the landscape in terms of legislation that's going on in Indiana, and that they would either endorse, try to help it get through. I think what we're looking at doing is maybe getting more input from our membership as to some of the needs that they see from a government affairs perspective, and to have NAFA Indiana initiate that for the state. And then the last thing that I'd like to see for 2021 is setting up partner sponsorships, organizations that are Indiana based. We're all looking to improve the industry and actually starting to work with them to do that. I think it could be a win-win for all parties. I think it would make NAFA Indiana much stronger, especially financially, but also we would be a true trade organization set up to make it a win-win for everybody. That's what I see for 2021. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We need, besides more members, we need volunteers for our committees. Having one individual be in charge of a committee and trying to do all of this stuff it's just undoable unless you have quality people working with them. So I encourage anybody that has an interest in a certain area, if you would like to become a committee member, or, we also need 2 or 3 additional board members. We've got plenty to do. And we need some good quality people to join us in the effort. So lastly, these are challenging times for both NAFA Indiana and NAFA National. But as they say it very well, together we can take on anything.